So let me tell you, this story we're diving into today, it's a powerful one. It's a story of sacrifice, a really deep betrayal, and the almost surgical reclamation of a life. It's about a guy who gave up absolutely everything for his family, only to have his entire world just detonated. But this isn't just about the fall. It's about the cold, calculated rise from the ashes. Wow. I mean, that one sentence, it just hits you, right? It perfectly captures the sheer shock at the heart of this whole thing. Just try to imagine waking up one day and realizing your entire reality, everything you've built, was a complete lie. Well, for this stay-at-home dad, this was that day. Okay, so let's get into it. To really understand how deep this betrayal cuts, you first have to understand what was built. We're talking about a 13-year partnership that, from the outside, and for a long time on the inside too, looked like the absolute perfect modern marriage. So you can see their life together kind of followed this classic script. They get married after college, have two wonderful daughters. But then everything changes. Her father passes away, and she has to step up and become the CEO of the family business. And with her career just exploding, he makes this huge, pivotal decision to leave his own successful, high-paying job to support the family from home. And listen, he didn't just become a stay-at-home dad. He became what you could honestly call the domestic CEO. I mean, seriously, he took on everything. School runs, cooking every single meal from scratch, learning how to do home repairs off YouTube, managing every single schedule, all of it, just so he could create this perfect, stress-free haven for his high-powered wife and their daughters. And you know, for years, this whole arrangement worked perfectly. It was great. But then, about a year ago, the atmosphere just curdled. Her gratitude was replaced by these really cutting remarks. She started calling his contributions playing house and asking him if he even did anything all day. The emotional distance between them just became this massive, unbridgeable chasm. All right, so let's get to the moment it all comes crashing down. The truth didn't come out in some big, dramatic fight or a tearful confession. Nope. It happened in the most mundane, all-American place you can imagine. Their daughter's softball game. It was such a simple thing, you know? He'd forgotten his own phone, and he just wanted to capture a proud dad moment, his daughter up at bat to send to the grandparents. So he asks to borrow his wife's phone. And in that one tiny, innocent moment, bam, a notification pops up on the screen that's about to unravel his entire world. So he opens the message. It's from this younger guy she works with, a guy named Jackson. And this is one of the first things he reads. His wife, the woman he'd sacrificed his entire career for, was describing him not as her partner, not as her husband, but as hired help. A nanny. I mean, the cruelty here is just staggering, isn't it? Think about that. The very acts of service and love that he was doing for his family, like baking cookies for his daughter's school events, were now being twisted and weaponized against him. They were being used as a yardstick to measure his masculinity and find him lacking. The betrayal was just absolute. Now, most people in this situation, they would have absolutely lost it, screaming, crying, a huge confrontation, right? But not him. Instead of giving in to all that rage and pain, he went ice cold. He completely contained the emotional fallout and started plotting a response that was nothing short of surgical. And what he did next was, honestly, a masterclass in tactical thinking. He didn't get mad, he got strategic. He screenshotted everything, gathering irrefutable proof. He hired a top lawyer in the next town over to be discreet. He built an ironclad case for full custody, and then he had her served with divorce papers at her office, completely blindsiding her. This was him taking his power back. But the strategy didn't stop there. As part of his plan, he decided he had to tell the other person caught in this web of lies, Jackson's wife. He just felt she deserved to know the truth. But what he discovered next would add a whole other sickening layer to this entire betrayal. I mean, seriously, just pause and think about it for a second. You've just discovered a long-term affair that was built on mocking you. You're fighting for your home, for your kids. How could it possibly get any worse than that? Well, here's how. The affair, it wasn't just an affair. He found out it had been going on while Jackson's wife was literally fighting for her life, going through surgeries and chemo for cancer. And his wife, she knew. She knew the whole time. Her betrayal wasn't just of him, it was of another woman in the most vulnerable moment of her life. Okay, so this brings us to the final act. After weeks of legal back and forth, his wife asks for one last meeting. It's in a public park, and she's hoping to reconcile. He agrees to go, but only to get closure and to make sure she understands this is really truly over. So she's there pleading with him to try again, and he just shuts it down. He calmly lays out the full timeline, every sacrifice he made, and every betrayal she committed. He makes it devastatingly clear that there is no path back. There's nothing left to save. And then he asks the one question that's still just eating him alive. Not that she did it, but why? Why would you destroy everything that we built together? Her answer would finally explain the inexplicable. And she just blurts it out. I wanted to be the one at home. And boom, there it is. The shocking, devastating truth. The entire affair, all the cruelty, the lies, it wasn't really about him, and it wasn't really about her lover. It was about her own secret, deeply buried resentment. So her confession just revealed this incredibly toxic mindset. Turns out she never wanted the CEO job. She secretly dreamed of being a homemaker, but she was just too proud to admit it. So instead of talking to him, she let jealousy fester. She grew to resent him for living the very life she craved. And her affair partner, he just preyed on that poison that was already there. All of this destruction because of a single honest conversation she refused to have. So with the truth finally out in the open, the divorce was finalized. He won full custody and he got the house. But this story doesn't really end with revenge. It ends with the slow, difficult process of rebuilding. He put all his energy into what really mattered, his own health and the healing of his daughters. And then, in a really remarkable turn of events, he and the affair partner's ex-wife, two people bonded by the same profound betrayal, they began to build a new relationship, one founded not on secrets, but on shared understanding and total honesty. And that's really the ultimate takeaway, isn't it? In the rubble of a life that was built on a hidden lie, he found that the one thing that could never be taken from him was his integrity. It really makes you wonder, how many of our own perfect-looking lives are just one honest conversation away from completely imploding?